If you plan on traveling with your dog, there are a couple of things that you can expose them to throughout the course of their life to make travel a little bit easier. Because if we are just taking our dogs in the car or we're just traveling when we're traveling, that's going to lead to a lot more anxiety and a lot less knowledge on how to behave and interact with their environment when they are actually doing the thing. So we want to make sure we're preparing them in advance by things that we can do in our everyday lives to make it easier later on. The first of which has to do specifically with the car. If your dogs are only ever traveling in the car when they're going to the vet or when they are going on vacation, that makes it really, really hard to travel with them. My previous dogs really didn't go on a lot of car rides. They went to the vet, they went to visit some different things, and they went on vacation. And so we would have a period of time when we got them into the car where they were stressed out, when they were crying, when they were panting and huffing, and they were pacing around, and they were not happy to be in the car before they settled down. It was a stressful period of time for them and for us as the humans in the car. But with my new puppies, I trained them how to be in the car from the moment I brought them into the house. I would take them on trips every couple of days to get them used to being in the car. And now my new puppies, when I put them in the car, no matter what we're doing, a trip, a vet, a park run, or whatever, they get in the car and they immediately settle. Their behavior is so incredibly good on short trips and on long trips. They have been excellently behaved. So getting your dog used to the car is incredibly helpful. And I have videos on how to help your dog get over their fear of being in the car, how to learn good car manners. We talk about how we're starting in small steps. So you are just getting in the car and driving down your driveway to get the mail and coming back up. You're going to go down your road and come back. You're going to go just down the block and back, slowly building it up so that they are more comfortable with being in the car until they are able to do longer car rides. Then you need to make sure you are rewarding them in the car for good behavior and for being able to go without it being a bad experience. So we don't just want to take them places where they are going to go to the vet and get shots, right? We want to make sure we're going to fun places, to the park. You don't even have to take them out of the vehicle. You can literally put your dog in the car, go into town and pick up some fast food, or you can go run an errand in the store and have somebody stay in the car with your dog. There's options where your dog doesn't even have to set foot outside of the car. They go on a ride, they come back home. They get to go do something fun with you. Or you can take them to places to get them used to new environments. So you can take them to the park, or you can take them to your sister's house where they're getting out and they are interacting with people, which also brings us to the next point. So while you do want to make sure you are actively teaching your dog how to behave in the car to go do things good, bad, and otherwise in their viewpoint, you also want to make sure they're engaging with people. You want to get them used to seeing new people. And that is people who are going to be touching them and interacting with them. So your siblings, go to your family, go to your friends, people who are going to be engaging with them, people who have dogs, people who don't have dogs, people who have kids, people who don't have kids. Get them used to people and interactions, but also take them into places where they're going to be surrounded by people they don't know who will not be engaging with them. It's really important. One of the big things I teach when it comes to car rides with your dog and car manners is to take them to a crowded grocery store or the mall where they're going to see a lot of people walking by, but they're not going to be able to interact with them. You're then going to hands-on teach them how to behave, how to respect those people, how to interact and be around those people without being reactive. Same thing goes for this. Take them to places where they're exposed to people who are just going to walk by them. Some people will stop to try to pet them, some won't. If you are traveling with them, your dog's going to have to be able to walk in public, into a hotel, in the hotel lobby, in the hotel hallways, down the boardwalk at the beach, on the mountain trail. You're going to run into people, so you need to expose them to those similar situations. So take them to a crowded parking lot and just sit there and help them watch. Go to the park, sit on a blanket, sit near a bench, watch people playing. A weekend, an early weekend, like with baseball games and things happening, is a great time to have them watch and be exposed to those people without being able to interact. The more you do it, the more you build up that tolerance and that awareness so that when they go to the beach, when they go to the ski lodge, when they go to the family reunion, they're used to being surrounded by the sights, the sounds, the smells, the interactions that they're going to get in those locations too. Building up the tolerance to the car and to people is incredibly important for your success as a dog parent so that your dog is less reactive and more neutral in these new settings, so that when you do that occasional travel, because we know we're not traveling every day of the year, right? When you go on those vacations and you take your dog, it's going to make it easier. This is also really helpful for like stopping at gas stations so they know how to interact while you're out getting gas. This is also really helpful for picking up food while you're traveling and you have to stop on your 12-hour drive to get something to eat, to run into the bathroom, to leave them for 5 seconds. Testing them on these things beforehand, very, very helpful. But speaking of food, we also want to make sure that we are exposing your dog to different ways of eating, because when you travel, their schedules will be different. Their access to their food will be different. The way that you feed them will be different, even in as much as it's just a different location. If your dog is really, really prone to being on a schedule and being very, very aware of the conditioned surroundings, taking them to a hotel room or feeding them in your mom's living room instead of yours is a change. It's different. And for some dogs, that can be a little bit of a problem. So if you have a very strict way of doing your feedings, try mixing it up every once in a while. Have some flexibility with your dog. And that can be the container they're eating out of. That can be, if you're somebody like me who does variety feeding, that could be like changing up their meals a little bit, giving them some different things so that their systems are used to it. If you are feeding them at the same specific time every single day, like every day at 5 p.m., mix it up a little bit. Do a little early, make them wait a little bit. Do things differently once in a while. It doesn't have to be like an everyday is different thing, but make sure you add some flexibility into it and train them beforehand. Because if you are traveling, if you're going to visit your family or you're staying at a hotel or you're doing things and you can't feed them on schedule in the same place, in the same way, from the same containers, that can lead to a lot of anxiety and a lot of problems. So you want to make sure you have done some work to train them to be a little flexible with their eating schedules, how they're eating, how you're giving them food. And we've done really great videos on how to effectively feed your dog while you're traveling. I talk specifically about how to prepare it so you're not wasting time, you're not building up that anxiety, and you're not stressing yourself out during meal times while you're traveling, be it a hotel, an Airbnb, a Verbo, or you're staying with friends and family. We have this ready to go to save you a ton of time and effort. So I'll link that video down below for you. Very, very helpful. We have a full playlist on how to travel with your dog to save you time and effort and stress and make it easier for your dog to go and do all those life things with you. So make sure you follow along, drop your questions down below, and get into my comments. How do you prepare your dogs for traveling? Because we want to build up a community here. This is not just me and the experts that I bring onto the channel helping to educate you. You guys get to be a part of this too. So get into the comments. Let me know what you do to prepare your dogs for traveling. Let me know what we need to film new videos on for our travel playlist, and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood, from enrichment tools and resources to traveling with your dog to dealing with socialization for your dog to leashes and harnesses and things that are going to be good for playtime for your dog here on the channel in those daily videos. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.